Hey guys, Ycoms here and welcome to a new commentated F1 video on the channel. That has not happened for a while, I have to apologize, I guess, once again. I had just had really priorities with the F1 esports series, I guess, and also finishing my semester at uni and yeah, just trying to focus on these kind of things and not focus too much on, you know, making videos and stuff like that. But I wanted to show you this Bahrain race here, AOR PC F1. This is round number 4, I believe, of the season, and we already finished number 8. So yeah, this race has been it was like 5 weeks ago or something like that. But yeah, it was my best race of the season, so that's why I wanted to share it. But before we get into it, I quickly want to inform everyone, if you are not aware, many of you probably are, that I am qualified for the F1 Esports Pro Draft. So target reached, even though it was quite controversial how it happened, because I initially obviously did not qualify in the Spain race, as you saw, disconnected at Baku and the event before, and Monaco, which was the race taking place at last Monday. I unfortunately got caught up in incidents, and even though the pace was really good after that, I mean, finished 4th in the end again, and I did not qualify. But someone dropped out of the whole competition in either one of the 2 races where I finished 4th, otherwise I wouldn't have been promoted. So yeah, I've been promoted to the Pro Draft. It took me by surprise. And on that behalf, I also want to thank everyone who sent me messages and, I don't know, just shared support really after, in the last 5-6 days. And yeah, I mean, I didn't really think I would still have so much support in the community, because I have not really done anything of significance in the last 6 months. And yeah, on that behalf, really I want to thank everyone for that. It really means a lot to me, and also it means a lot to me that I am getting to this Pro Draft, even though, you know, it did not come over me actually like qualifying in the top 3 in one of the races, which is, you know, not what I want. But yeah, it's just how it is. And yeah, I mean, let's shift the focus towards AOR and Bahrain. We're already on my qualifying lap, as you can see. Yeah, this is my final lap of the session. The session has already ended. 27.8 was a banker. That's not too bad. That's a little bit slower than my pole lap from last season. And we are at the moment only 1.5 tenths up. So only because my PB coming into this race was a 27.4. I just looked that up before I made a commentary. So yeah, this is definitely not that great of a lap. Also touching the curb a little bit too much here for my liking. But we had a decent final sector at least, and we're coming across the line with a 127.700. Not the worst lap, but again, nowhere near my PB, and obviously the PC platform doesn't have any issues with FPS and stuff like that in the actual qualifying session. So yeah, 2.5 tenths off pole position of a PB in this league is just way too much. But we managed to qualify in the top 10, P8. A bit lower in the end of the top 10, which is always not too good, because you obviously have like fresh tire choice from P11 onwards. So yeah, you try to avoid these positions. P8 is not too bad. It's still better, you know, than P9 and 10, which I got a little bit more frequent this season as well. And yeah, coming into the race, actually, I was reasonably confident. It feels like I think well, I've definitely done more practice for this race than in the previous rounds, and also I think more than all of the other rounds after that, because I had a little bit more time. And yeah, pace looked actually quite good. Bahrain has always been a good track for me, not in terms of results necessarily. If you remember season 14, forward into turn 1. Hopefully that's not going to happen today. Lights are out for the Bahrain Grand Prix, and we're getting, well, a mediocre start, but we're trying to keep it cautious here through the first couple of corners. Breaking her in the middle of the track. Could have gone to around the outside. You can see there Resti just sweeping around 2 or 3 cars. We have 3 right into turn number 2 with non-runner and Fab, that was. But yeah, we managed to keep it out of trouble. We lost 2 positions off the start. I didn't really care too much, really. I wanted to just get through the first couple of corners without any incidents, because I've been caught up in those quite a lot in this season so far, and we managed to reclaim that position of non-runner, at least, who's on a soft tire. So that is definitely crucial to stay ahead of these soft runners as much as possible in this first stint, in order to keep that strategy going. And Resi being attacked here by Fab here around the outside of turn 10, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, decent start. Lost the position obviously to a Resi on the start, but you know, I didn't really buffer too much. I knew my pace was good. I knew my tire wear management was very, very good. It seemed like it always, my tire wear is always quite okay, but it seemed like this track especially, it was really, really good. It was really good towards the end of the stint on these super softs especially. So yeah, definitely trying to keep it behind these guys and make any sort of moves if possible, if I see that I am actually faster. Don't do those kind of mistakes though, because that's also been something I've been doing more often recently, doing mistakes. And it's a little bit uncharacteristic really for myself to see myself doing so many mistakes these days. And I don't know where it comes from. I'm still, like, even after Spa, I need to figure it out. Even after round 8, after halfway through the season, I need to figure it out. I need to figure major stuff out if I want to get where I was at the start of this game and at the end of the 2016 game. Obviously, you can argue many people were quicker, got quicker by then, but I should have been able to do that as well, even though I had an absence of a few months on this game. I'm just not where I want to be. And you can see that through the results of this season so far, especially when I do a full recovery of the results after the Spa race. But anyway, we are going up the inside here on the Resi on lap 3, a little bit late on the race. There's a little bit of contact. I'm trying to leave him as much room as possible here around the outside on turn 2, and that is us up into P8. And I think that was actually quite crucial because I felt like I was faster at this stage than the Resi, and Fab already pulled away. And then, it's actually Tim or Tino Naukarinen who also got through on the Resi here, and he's on the soft tires, so he's one of the top guys in this league. He's had a very, very good start to the season. Currently, I think before this race in P2 or P3 of the championship. I think P3, behind Brendan and Danny, that is. So he's definitely one to watch out, and he will definitely be faster in the second half of my stint here. And yeah, we're skipping on to lap 6. We are catching up a little bit again to this group here after after we've been down and down. This basically those few laps. Ooh, as Fab I think has just lost the front wing end plate, so that's not too good. But yeah, these are the laps where my tire wear comes into play, my tire wear management comes into play. And I should be a little bit faster than these guys in front, especially someone like Photon has been struggling so much in the early parts of the season with tire wear in the first couple of after good qualifying, first couple of laps, and then he drops like a stone through the field towards the end of the stint normally. But yeah, we caught up to this group again, which is really, really good. You can see this field spreading out a little bit, really. Target obviously was for the guys to get points, because I've not been able to do that since Australia. Yeah, Fab obviously understeering with his front wing damage, and it seems like he's going into the pits, as is Car Hamilton. So that's a very, very early pit stop, and I was very surprised actually that, you know, that was going to happen. There were rumors about some people doing the 2-stop maybe for this race. I just said like, no way, mate, this is not gonna work. And yeah, these two are going for the 2-stop, so I was actually not thinking about them too much anymore, because I was pretty confident that the 1-stop was faster. And skipping now to the end of lap 7, there's another car into the pits. That is Istvan Puki, that is Stiff. And we actually set a personal faster lap on lap 7. And if anyone of you know like the tire wear at Bahrain, well, say that's probably quite interesting, to be honest. 31.7 still on lap 7, especially since I was not able to go faster in the previous laps. It is quite interesting, to be honest, as well. And just skipping to lap 8, we caught up to Photon, and Photon going into the pits now, and that means we are up into P3 of the race. And P8 is lap 8 is really the earliest lap you can pit, I think, on this set of tires to go for the one stop. So we are in a very good position here, to be honest, to get a decent race. Now at the end of lap 9, 2.5 seconds behind Danny, and we made a little bit of a mistake here. Almost 4 tenths down on our fastest lap here. So yeah, it's time to pit. I wanted to go for the undercut here. I didn't want to go one more lap. Didn't want to hold up Tim one more lap, and he actually didn't go for any moves, even though he was quite close. And we actually did not slow down into the pit lane, and that is a stop and go penalty. And after such a decent start to the race, really, it was the best start to any race this season, we have completely bottled it. We do not serve the penalty in the pit lane, but that's really, you know, doesn't really matter, because we are just screwed with 5 seconds at the end of this race, and in that league that probably means you're going to drop multiple positions. Not great, really not great. I was just like, oh come on, why am I doing this to myself, really, after such a good start to the race. And they're currently in P12, which doesn't really seem too good, to be honest, but the front runs are well, the guys who started on other tires are going into pits shortly, and we have a lot of two-stoppers as well in front of us. So Danny coming in at the end of lap 10, he just comes out ahead. So we definitely gained over a second on him, so 1.1 seconds on him. But he's going past the Resti, so he probably will get out. We probably won't have any chance at clinging on to the DRS of him. I was actually practicing with Danny quite a lot before this race on the Saturday. And that's why I got confirmation, hey, my pace is actually quite good around this track. And you will be able to see, just keep a look at the fastest lap times I'm doing in the next couple of laps. Actually, I think the first part of this stint was actually not too great, but it got better, I think, later on. So as I said, pace looked okay for a decent position. No idea where I am in what net position I am in, really. So far, you can see 31.3 is not too bad as a lap time at this stage of the race. It's going to get a little bit quicker, I think, towards the end of the race anyway, on these mediums as well, for me anyway. And you can see we have Tim again behind us, who pitted very early from the softs, and he's obviously now on fresher tires. I think 2 or 3 laps, 3 laps I think. So he caught up very quickly. I had great pace on the soft tires towards the end of the stint still. And we will not fight him. He is a very quick guy, and if I can actually like try to keep it with him in the DRS, that would be amazing. That was my strategy now. So here we go, braking a little bit early, getting a good exit here out of turn 2, and now try to follow him as much as possible and try to see if we can keep up with him. Maybe he can carry us a little bit towards the upper end of the field. So yeah, apart from that stop and go penalty, which I actually have probably forgot about this stage really in the race, just focusing now on trying to keep it with Tim here. See, he has a little bit better grip here through these fast section, fast corners, and he's very fast. And he got past Aresi very quickly, and now we are stuck behind Aresi, who is on soft tires but on old ones. Remember, he pitted, actually you don't know, but he pitted very early as well, so he's on a 2-stop too. And yeah, we need to get past him as quickly as possible. Not like that though, that's not a good exit at all out of the penultimate corner. And we need a really good final corner if we really want to attack him. Braking late, clipping the apex nicely, not touching the pep on the outside. And it's actually going into the pit, so thanks very much, Aresi. I'll get that position, but we lost 8 tenths to our fastest lap of the race, which is a 31.2 now. And Tino has caught up to Photon, who's also on a 2-stop, and Danny, see up there. So we're not too far behind these race leaders, and Brendan, I think, is the start of this train here. You can see, yeah, he's in the lead of the race, so we are not too far behind, really, a podium position. You can see we are on lap 21. We are in net. Oh, in that 4th position at the moment, because Photon still needs a bit. That was very, very close to the back of him. But you can see Marcel Kiefer, the pole sitter from coming from behind on soft tires. He went for a 2-stop strategy, and he has done a stellar job at that, to be honest, to get so far up already again on this strategy, and he will definitely get us in 2.6 seconds. I mean, there's no way we can defend that. But our focus for the moment is on Photon. We need to get past him in order to maximize our thing, because obviously, remember, we have the 5-second stop and go penalty, which we still will get applied after the race, so we might lose a couple of positions towards the end of the race. There we go, Photon goes into pits, and we are now up into net 4th position of the race, and only about, I don't know, like 4 or 5 seconds behind the race leader. So yeah, the race has been going very, very well after a cautious start and a good second part of the stint, and now we are really, really into it, and we're trying to maximize the pace as much as possible and try not to worry too much about Marcel Kiefer behind, because he's catching up. He will catch up, maybe not getting us at the end of this lap, but maybe next lap somewhere along the line. 2 seconds the gap to Tim now. We're definitely going to lose a little bit on him, because he is initially obviously a little bit faster. I do not expect to keep it with the top 3 guys here in this race for the final few laps. And Marcel is quite close now behind us. Depends on really how much slipstream effect he gets if he can actually make a move into turn 1. But I don't think he's quite far now, so we're going to brake normally. But he's actually gone for it, and I was not expecting that. He's shafting us a little bit off the apex there. And he's gone through with an aggressive move there. And, well, I was not too happy with that, but I mean, it didn't really matter. None of us got damage. He got through in the end. It was a little bit of a lunge, but, you know, whatever, really. Don't really care. So we're now down into 5th position. Let's have a look at the gap to non-runner. Oh, that's a bad corner. 3.4 seconds. Remember, non-runner started on soft as well, so he is on fresher tires too. So to extend the gap to non-runner to 5 seconds is gonna be very, very difficult, if not impossible. You can see 2 laps from the end. We're setting a new personal best of the race, but the top 3 to top 4 were just a little bit quicker. They were all on fresher tires than I was. So I actually had the older tires, probably in the top 7, 8, by pitting on lap 9. So yeah, my tires were hanging on to dear life, really. And you can see lap 29, actually Danny not too far ahead of us. There has been an incident in turn number 1 on the final lap between him and Tim. And that was what got Marcel Kiefer up into 2nd place with a 2-stop strategy. That is really, really impressive, and we're most likely going to lose the position here to non-runner, because 2.8 seconds, that's not enough to stay ahead with a 5-second stop and go penalty. We're coming around the final corner here at Bahrain in a good points main position. It could have been P5 without that stupid pit stop, but we're going to finish in P6 in the end, and that is definitely my best race of the season. No doubt about it. Pace was really, really good, I have to say, especially towards the end of both stints. It was definitely very, very good, considering I also pitted a little bit earlier than most of the guys behind and ahead of me. So yeah, hopefully, I will cover the rest of the season, what happened in the next 4 rounds at Spa, maybe also including some of the footage. You can see here the lap times. Not too bad, I guess. And yeah, for the moment I was just happy to have my first really decent race of the season, and I will see you very, very soon in the next one. Bye bye.